to another video. Now I am doing something slightly different. I really like how this one turns out, I've got to tell you. Now I'm using the, let me find where I've written it. I'm using the MINTAY Papers Basic Book number 10. It's called Backgrounds Wood. So that particular paper pad, this is something that I did a little bit last year. I have been buying the smaller paper pads and seeing how I can create a 12 by 12 layout using it. Now, of course, this is wood, so it would be very simple for me to just go straight across my page or straight up and down on my page. That would be the easy thing to do. But I decided what I was going to do is create a kind of patchwork look with my wood paneling pieces. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm using my Creative Memories trimmer. The reason I use them is because I wanted them to be perfectly square. Normally, as you know, if you've been here for 5 minutes, you know that I quite often just use my Tim Holtz 9-inch shears and I cut them beautifully and it cuts perfectly. But in this case, I wanted them to be very, very square and even. So as you can see, I'm using the Scorched Timber Distress Oxide on the edges. I love that color. I cannot scream the praises of this color more. It is stunning. Now, I went around the outside edges of it purely, and of course, look, run out of tape runner every time. And I'm only putting these down with tape runner at this point because I'm trying to give me the ability to move things around a little bit. So, and change my mind and blah, 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 because we all do that, right? But I decided to put these on an angle just for something different. Now you can see I've only got white in the background, but don't worry. Now this G'day, this is actually a chippy piece that is a chippy cutout from Scrapbook Fantasies. These guys gifted this to me and it has been sitting on my desk since I got it pretty much because I absolutely love it. But I wanted to find a layout that was simple for it to go on because I just love the word G'day. And as you know, I say it at the beginning of every single video and I love it. Now I used so I've glued it down to some vellum just to back it, just to give it a little bit of a muted sort of tone in the background. And then what I've done is I've gone around it with my brown alcohol marker, which was from my Montmartre. It was my Montmartre set. And I went over it a couple of times. So the first time I went over it, it was a little bit red. But once I went over it 2 or 3 times, it was a nice deep dark colour. I could have quite easily gone over it with my Distress Oxides, but I didn't want to accidentally get the vellum underneath. So now I'm going around just with a cursive font stamp. I don't even know where I got this from. I've had it forever and ever. It just goes forever. It's just, I love it. It's just a different kind of script. You can, if you want to, you can actually stamp it and read it. It's one of those kind of ones. Now I just put that on the white in the background just to break it up. I thought it looked a bit too stark white. Now I'm using my Distress watercolor pencils. I love these things. I've found myself actually hoarding them a little bit, to be quite honest. I don't use them as much because I guess I'm hoarding them. So I do like, this is a different way that I like to use them. You can do this with any watercolor pencil. Instead of drawing it down onto something or wetting the tip and creating a little puddle of color, you can just use a wet brush and just touch the tip of the pencil, and the color payoff is amazing. It's super duper pigmented. There's not lots of fillers in these. I have had people ask me, would you recommend the Distress watercolor pencils? I would more than recommend them. I actually have the entire set because they are just, they're awesome. You can use them as a pencil, you can use them as a watercolor, you can use them like I'm doing here, just wetting the tip of the brush and sort of using it as a
as a watercolor this way, but it's super pigmented, as you can see by me going around the outside edge. So the pinkish tone that I was using is Saltwater Taffy, and this is the Scorched Timber that I'm going around with, and I think that just finishes the border off a little bit, and it's just pencil. So, you know, if you don't have watercolor pencil, distressed watercolor pencils, you could do it with just a normal, go raid your kids' pencils. You know, you could do something like this just with normal pencils. So, yeah, I'm loving how this is looking. It's timber, it's a timber background, but it's not an obvious way of using it. So then I decided, well, I actually knew this right from the beginning, but see this little picture frame? I wanted something to ground the G'day to. I didn't want to just put it directly onto the photo. So I decided to pull out, this is actually a Cocoa Vanilla, that picture frame. It came out of a Cocoa Vanilla ephemera pack. I've had it forever. I don't know which one it is off the top of my head, but I know it was Cocoa Vanilla. Then I pulled out these die cut flowers. Now, I bought these dies from, did I get them from Temu or did I get them from AliExpress? I know I've only made one Temu order, and as you know, I won't do that again, but I feel like this was maybe AliExpress, these dies. And what it actually is they came with 2 sizes of each flower. So what I did one day, I just sat down and I just cut a heap of them just in white cardstock, and I've put them into a sandwich bag, snap-lock bag, and I just keep them off to the side. And that way when I'm doing something like this and I'm on a roll, I don't have to pull out my die cut machine. I don't have to do all that sort of stuff. Well, you're going to see in a couple of seconds that I still ended up having to pull out my die cut machine, which is not difficult. But, and if you have been here for a little while, I do pull out my Spellbinders Platinum 6, because if you know, you know, last Christmas my husband unfortunately dropped my machine and he broke my handle. And believe it or not, you're never going to believe it, but Spellbinders sent me an entire, completely a new handle, total. The whole mechanism sent me for free. So to say that that company backs their product is an understatement. I didn't ask for it for free. I genuinely wanted to buy a new one because I love the machine. And I have bought myself, in the interim, I bought myself a 9-inch trimmer from Crafts Online, and it is amazing, and it sits right next to me on my desk. But I do find the Spellbinders Platinum 6 trimmer is a really good size to bring out onto your desk to quickly do a few things and then put it back. I have toyed with the idea of getting a little tiny mini trimmer. You know, I think Gemini make a small one now, and they've bought it. I know that Tim Holtz did, I think it was called a Sidekick, I think. And I did consider getting that, but there was a little bit of feedback saying that you couldn't buy the plates separate. So that sort of threw me off a little bit. So I just never committed, never bought them. Here's my machine. Look at it. Look at that handle work. See, perfect. Nothing wrong with the machine. It's amazing. Now, the reason I did buy the magnetic base for this particular machine, and so my base plate actually has magnets in it, so it holds my dies where I want them, which is fantastic. I love that. But as you can see, it's not difficult. This is my Tiny Branches die that I bought forever ago, and I love them because they're just teeny tiny leaves, and they're great for just adding foliage to a layout just to see how it looks. Now, I was going to leave these white, believe it or not, but then I thought, no, it just blends in too much. So I had the flowers there,
And I've used some different leaves. They're the Uniquely Creative leaves. And the die is called, let me see what it's called. I don't think I've written it down. Uniquely Creative Leaves Dies. That's what it's called. So it comes with 2 different leaves, and again, like I said, they were cut sitting off in a snap-lock bag. So I just pull out a couple, chuck them in there, in and around the flowers, and you just keep building it up. Now you can see what I decided to do. I'm pressing my foam dauber onto these leaves, but I'm not colouring them in perfectly, if that makes sense. So it's creating the illusion of texture. So these leaves I'm just creating one big floral arrangement at the bottom, in the bottom corner. Now there's quite often you'll hear us talk about in the scrapbooking world the rule of threes, right? Now the rule of threes are actually where when you're positioning things on your page, the eye is drawn to 3 of something. Like if it's an odd number, that is aesthetic. It has been proven that is aesthetically pleasing to the eye when you're looking at artwork like this. Now, does that mean you can't use 2? Does it mean you can't use 1? No. On this particular layout, I'm doing 2 little floral arrangements, one in the top left corner and a giant one in the bottom right corner, and I think it works. I think it looks fine. You let me know, do you think I should have done something slightly different? Let me know what you think. Now this paint that I'm using, this is the one that I make up. If you want the recipe, you can see all my little pots there off to the side. They're all dried and they've gone hard in the pot. So it's basically like a watercolor paint. You know when you buy like your kids' watercolors and they're hard in the, that's what happens. So if you want the recipe, it is pinned over on the Facebook group, which there will be a link in the description for if you would like to make some yourself. Super duper simple. They dry down, they store super well, and I just make small amounts of each one because it goes so far. Now I have decided to, so I've created a metallic butterfly. It's a dragonfly. And I really like how that looks. And I do end up coming in with a little bit more of something shortly. And I'm just putting a few little specks, just a couple of specks on top of the journaling, the stamped journaling, the stamped wording, yeah, and I think it turned out really nice. Now I'm just adding some sequins and some pearls to the center of my flowers, just to give them a center, if that makes sense. So I really like how that one turned out as well. Now let me know what you think. Leave me comments below. One, are you getting value from my videos? Are you enjoying the videos themselves? This is where I fill in the glossy accents. Now I'm literally flooding the word and I'm filling it up so it becomes literally like a big glossy title, and it makes it stand out a little bit more. Not to mention the fact that my photo is actually a gloss photo as well. So, but that's all right. So I don't normally print my photos in gloss. These are still just a few that I've had hanging around. Eventually I'll use them all, and eventually I will get them all scrapped, but I prefer to print my photos on a matte photo paper. So especially with the bright lights above my layout, the glare drives me nuts. I'm one of these people, I can't even buy a glass mat because of the reflection, would just kill me. So here you go, guys. This is the close-up. I did put some glossy accents over the wings on my dragonfly, and when that dries, it's crystal clear. It's beautiful. It looks a little milky at the moment. Now the word g'day is going to always stay milky looking because I put vellum behind it. So there you go. You can see all my little flowers, and you can see the wood texture, and let me know, what do you think? I know we don't look at leaves normally and think about, I had an afterthought here. I don't normally add, this is slowed down, so this is in my real time, guys, this bit. The whole thing, I speed all my videos up, but this is how quickly I actually normally scrap. So I decided to pull out some of my Nuvo winter, what's it called? Winter white, is it? And now I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see anything anyway. I've got the pot in front of me. I can't see what I'm reading. It's called Nuvo Glacier Paste in, yeah, winter white. I haven't used it for a while. This stuff, if I can get another tub of this from somewhere, it is awesome. It is so pretty and glittery, and I just use the smallest amount and I just love it. It's actually glittery compared to like the Luna paste, which is, the whole thing's metallic. This is just glittery, and oh, it's so pretty. I love it. And it just adds a little bit of extra depth to your flowers. And see how I'm just putting just the tiniest little bit, and I'm sort of starting in the center and just pulling it out along the flower petal, and it just looks really pretty. So if you haven't subscribed already, I would love to have you join and subscribe and, you know, all that fun stuff. And I would love to have a comment. Let me know if you've tried anything. Are you going to try and give this a go? Is this something that you like or dislike? What would you like to see me scrap more? Themes. And we also, I don't think I'm going to have, I've already had one live this month. I'm still trying to do one live a month, guys. So we'll have a live next month, but I'm going to do it on International Scrapbook Day, which is the 4th of May. So that way it will be a little bit for everybody, you know. So that'll be when my next live is. I was asked about that the other day when I'm doing another live. So I know Laurie likes my lives, and you know, it's one of those things where I will endeavour to try and do it as often as I possibly can, because I love talking to you guys too. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will catch you later. Thanks for watching. I will be back soon. Bye, guys.